At the start of this year's WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a sneaker included. $28 million at the time, while some people, including myself, were saying that this might be a little bit too low because of the superstar that she is.
Caitlin Clark's been making waves in the WNBA, but not all of them are good. First, there were the hard fouls. Then, the questionable calls. Now, Nike's dropped a t-shirt that's got fans fuming.
Now, at the time, a lot of us were so excited about this. Nike is obviously the biggest brand in athletic apparel, and Caitlin seemed to be a perfect fit for the brand. Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her?
It's like the rookie can't catch a break. Want to know what's really going on? Let's talk about this Nike shirt mess. Fans are losing it over this leaked design. It's so bad, people are saying stuff like, "This is ass," and "Caitlin deserved better than this." Can you believe it? Nike, the giant of sports gear, dropping the ball this hard? But here's the thing. This isn't just about one ugly shirt. It's starting to look like a pattern. Is the WNBA, or maybe even Nike, not giving Caitlin the respect she deserves?
And then the clock rolls into the NCAA tournament. And by the NCAA tournament, I was like, this girl's the biggest star in sports. When practice starts back up in October, and games start back up in early November or late October, she's now the biggest star in college sports, and she's playing at Iowa.
There's more to this story, trust me. And get this, even with all this drama, Clark's still shaking up the league. You won't believe what she's doing on the court. Let's dive into that next. Remember when rookies were supposed to pay their dues? Clark didn't get that memo. She's setting the league on fire, but some folks aren't happy about it.
For sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes. It is mind-blowing. Since she has signed this contract, you guys, and her WNBA season has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. When the deal was first announced, we also got to see the other offers that were on the table for Caitlin Clark. And as you can see, Under Armour offered her 4 years for $16 million, which by a year-by-year basis, she would actually be making more per year if she had signed with Under Armour.
Ticket prices are through the roof. Fans are going crazy. And the refs? Let's just say they're making some interesting calls. What's really going on here? Caitlin Clark's rookie season in the WNBA, it's been nothing short of historic. This girl's breaking records like they're made of glass. She's not just good, she's unanimous Rookie of the Year. All WNBA first team good.
They had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been crickets. When she broke the record for the most points in NCAA scoring history for both the men and the women, Nike put up this huge billboard that's basically like, if you break it, you own it. And I personally don't understand how a brand like Nike, who has had athletes like Serena Williams, like LeBron James, like Michael Jordan, who branched off and made his own brand in itself. However, I will say that Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league
That's insane for a first-year player. But here's where things get wild. Clark's not just changing the game on the court, she's changing the whole vibe of the league. Ticket prices for her playoff debut, higher than any game in last year's finals. You heard that right. Fans are practically fighting to get a glimpse of Clark in action. Now, you'd think with all this buzz, the league would be rolling out the red carpet for Clark, right? Well, not exactly. It's like she's got a target on her back, and I'm not just talking about the opposing teams.
We just watched one of the most unique experiences in the history of sports. And I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark experience. Here's the excuse I'm going to give them, and this is the bow I'm gonna put on this whole conversation. And this is a sympathetic take towards everybody on the Indiana Fever. And it's gone on nonstop. The Caitlin Clark experience.
Let's talk about what's happening on the court. Fans are losing their minds over the officiating in Clark's game. During her playoff debut, social media was on fire. People were saying stuff like, This referee crap is beyond ridiculous. And this is the worst officiated basketball game of all time. Ouch! And it's not just fans noticing. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert had to speak up. She said, "I think everybody's watching Caitlin, so they're focused only on Caitlin." Translation? Clark's getting hit with some extra physical play, and the refs might not be catching it all. But wait, it gets crazier. Remember that game against Angel Reese? Reese got hit with a flagrant 1 foul for smacking Clark in the head. Fans were ready to riot, but here's the kicker. Clark just brushed it off. She said, "It is what it is. She was trying to make a play on the ball and make the ball. It happens."
And I feel like looking back in retrospect, that might have been the perfect place. Under Armour came to her and said that she could be the face of the women's line on the Steph Curry side because her and Steph's game is so similar. Because I feel like Under Armour for sure wouldn't have ignored her this entire season and missed out on so many marketing dollars. The thing that is the most surprising about this is, if you guys remember, when Caitlin Clark was playing at Iowa, Nike ran ads about her.
Talk about keeping your cool under pressure. Now you might be thinking, surely the WNBA is doing something about this, right? Well, that's where things get murky. Clark's coach, Christy Sides, is sending plays to the league for review. Plays where Clark's getting knocked around without a whistle. But so far, crickets. It's like there's this weird disconnect between what fans are seeing and what the league's doing. And it's not just about Clark, it's raising questions about how the whole WNBA is run. But here's the thing that's got everyone talking. Despite all this drama, all these hard fouls, all these questionable calls, Clark's still balling out. She's not just surviving in the WNBA, she's thriving. This rookie is changing the game.
I believe that Caitlin Clark, if they would have released a signature shoe for her this season, they would have made a killing. Sabrina Ionescu has a shoe with Nike, and it is very similar to like a Kobe or a Kyrie shoe. That is an example where you don't need to take all of this time in developing the greatest first shoe for a player. You've done it for other players. Wemby's shoe is out. LeBron, when he came into the league and there was so much hype around him, he also was somebody who signed a $100+ million, his contract was.
Bringing in new fans and making women's basketball must-see TV. You think Clark's making waves? That's just the tip of the iceberg. The entire WNBA is about to flip upside down. Teams are scrambling, coaches are sweating, and it's all because of one rookie? Nah, there's way more to this story. Let's talk about what's really going on in the WNBA right now. It's like someone hit the reset button on the whole league. Get this. About 25% of head coaching positions are up for grabs. That's not just a few teams, we're talking a quarter of the entire league. And it's not just the existing team. Golden State and Toronto are joining the party with brand new expansion teams. It's like the WNBA decided to shake things up all at once.
No, it's never happened in America. And then when you throw on the animus and the jealousy and the media being against her, February, March of 2024, it's like, holy cow, she's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, new coaches, new teams, what's the big deal? Well, here's where it gets wild. All these changes, they're happening right when Caitlin Clark is taking the league by storm. It's like the perfect storm of talent and opportunity. Check this out. Lynn Dunn, the general manager of the Indiana Fever, dropped this bomb. There are players lining up at the Fever organization, knocking on the door, calling them on the phone. "We want to play with Caitlin." Can you believe that? Players are literally begging to play with Clark. It's like she's got some kind of basketball superpower that everyone wants a piece of. But it's not just about Clark. This whole situation is forcing teams to rethink their strategies. They're looking at Clark and thinking, how do we build a team that can compete with that?
Here, I know that they have fired people, hired new people, like there's a lot of moving parts. That to me, I know they're blaming some of it on that, but that seems to be such a small, minor detail when you have the gold mine that is Caitlin Clark. So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlin? either one, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes at Nike. Their stock has dropped like 20% this year.
It's like Clark accidentally started a revolution in how WNBA teams are put together. Now remember that Nike shirt mess we talked about earlier? Well, it's starting to look like part of a bigger problem. It's not just about one ugly shirt. It's about respect. It's about recognizing the value of these incredible athletes. Clark's success is shining a spotlight on the whole league. And people are starting to ask some tough questions, like, why are players like Clark getting knocked around on the court without consequences? Why isn't the league doing more to protect its stars? And why is a huge company like Nike dropping the ball on merchandise for one of the hottest names in sports? It's not just fans asking these questions. The players are speaking up too. They're demanding better treatment, better officiating, and more respect. And you know what? People are listening.
Caitlin Clark doesn't. And so here's a woman that becomes the biggest star in sports earlier this year, February, around that time. Goes all the way through the NCAA tournament, ends in early April. The next week, or within a week or 10 days, they have the WNBA draft, and ratings fly through the roof.
The WNBA is at a crossroads, and Clark is right in the middle of it all. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Clark. She's the spark, sure, but the fire was already there. The league was ready for change, and Clark just happened to show up at the perfect moment. Now, we're seeing a potential revolution in women's sports. It's not just about better games or more fans. It's about equity, respect, and changing the whole game. While the league grapples with these changes, there's another force shaking things up. Fans aren't just watching from the sidelines anymore. They're jumping into the game, and their impact might surprise you. WNBA supporters are fired up, and they're not afraid to show it. You know that Nike shirt mess we talked about? Well, fans aren't just complaining. They're taking action. Picture this. Social media campaigns blowing up, boycotts of poorly designed merch, and fans demanding better for their favorite players. It's like the WNBA fan base decided to become one big team, all fighting for the same goal.
And then obviously you have Angel Reese still trolling her, and the people in the media being uncomfortable, and Paige Beckers is really the best player, and Paige Beckers, you know, she understands her white privilege. She ain't break my record. I was playing with a real size basketball. She wasn't. All of that. And it's like, oh, wow.
They're not just tweeting about it. They're putting their money where their mouth is. But it's not just about t-shirts. Fans are stepping up for the players in a big way. They're starting community initiatives, pushing for better treatment of WNBA stars both on and off the court. It's like they've decided, if the league won't do it, we will. And let me tell you, these fans are not messing around. Remember all that drama with the refs in Caitlin Clark's games? Fans are all over it. They're not just yelling at their TVs anymore, they're demanding better officiating standards. One fan put it perfectly, this referee crap is beyond ridiculous. And they're not wrong. The officiating has been so bad that some fans are threatening to tune out completely. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about one player or one team. It's about the whole league. Fans are realizing they've got power, and they're not afraid to use it. They're pushing for equity, respect, and fair treatment for all WNBA players. You want to know how serious they are? Check this out. Some fans are saying stuff like, I won't watch once the refs eliminate the fever. That's how invested they are in making sure the game is fair. They're not just passive viewers anymore. They're active participants in shaping the league's future. And it's not just about what happens on the court. Fans are demanding better merchandise, better marketing, better everything for their favorite players. They're calling out big companies like Nike when they drop the ball. It's like they've decided, if you're not going to respect our players, we're not going to respect your brand. But here's the thing that's really wild. The league is starting to listen. All this fan noise, it's making waves. The WNBA is realizing that they can't ignore their supporters. These aren't just customers, they're passionate advocates for the sport. Think about it. When was the last time you saw fans of any sport get this involved? It's not just about cheering from the stands anymore. WNBA fans are rewriting the playbook on what it means to support a league. They're showing up, speaking out, and making real change happen. And you know what's even crazier? This is just the beginning. As the WNBA grows and changes, the fans are growing right along with it. They're becoming a force to be reckoned with, and they're not backing down. So what does all this mean for the future of the WNBA? Well, it's looking pretty exciting. With fans this passionate and involved, the league has no choice but to step up its game. Better treatment for players, fairer officiating, cooler merch, it's all on the table. All right, let's wrap this up. The WNBA is going through some crazy changes right now. We've got the Nike shirt mess, Caitlin Clark getting knocked around on the court, and fans losing it over bad calls. But you know what? This isn't just about one player or one ugly shirt. It's about respect for the whole league. Here's the thing. You've got power. Yeah, you. The fans are the ones pushing for change, and it's working. The league's starting to listen. So don't stop now. Keep showing up for your favorite players. Keep calling out the bad stuff when you see it, and keep demanding better. Better merch, better treatment, better everything. The future of the WNBA, it's in your hands, so let's make it a good one.